Wanted to get on this thing about compost tea and how that works and how great that is. Man, I've been on that since a long time ago. One of the videos I showed back from 2013 is a perfect example of that. And what that's all about. And basically, it's just, vegetables. We know how vegetables sit up and the liquid that comes out. You can see the, the drippings of the, the vegetables and all of that. That's what compost tea is, and the that's what happens. Nature wastes nothing, so you don't have to use herbicides, pesticides, and all that kind of thing, or fertilizers even. Nature has its own natural fertilizers, and the size of fruits and vegetables that grow from that helps to maintain a monetary savings because of the size of each vegetable, each fruit. That means, that you can feed a lot of people on just one item. And with it, just like with anything else, the biological agricultural science of that is kept intact. Communication from what's the things that are broken down and used, the decaying radioactive matter is a super official substance that is a liquid. It's a formulation from other things as well, the spinning that goes on, just like the activated water. They show how the streams in the water when you spin it, and the water is activated from that energy from where its original source, from the lava flow, the activation in that, and the factors that come through that. So things return to its source, of course, to work the magic and to bring more healing and more diversity to the human being. And the human being can speak that language at the very same time, and which is something that everyone wants to do, is to have an intellectual pursuit of their life. So a plant-based diet, which is the massive impact of people of color right now, is being used. So they can't say the intellect is just a big strong body and that's it. But it's also intellect because of the things that we do, and it's showing in these days and times of the vegans and vegetarians worldwide, and the people and the way they're behaving in the plant-based diet that is accepting of the human being in the universe, and is giving these human beings a lift off, a lift up to a higher level learning, communication, behavior, which is the ultimate thing. Diet and behavior. It is listed in any uh, location on the planet, all over the world. Diet and behavior. It's a very calming effect. It's a very prophetic presentation, and the life force energy is based in that. Light projection is based in that. You can go anywhere with all the herbs and project healing from that, because that's the travel arrangement of the waters. Waters can be clouds, can be amniotic fluid, can be sea water, can be river water, can be tears of joy. So the exchange value in the water is the fact that it's the only element thing that can go in all three phases: liquid, solid, and gaseous. So that is shown in the behavior of the human being. The multiplicity to go forth and multiply. The seed breakthrough is in that. So compost tea is basically just aerating the the breaking down of the substance, just like in the lava flow. In lava rock, once it solidifies, looking at Hawaii, how green and beautiful that is, because it's aerated and the heat transfer, just like in elderberry. Elderberry wood is the best wood to start a fire from the spindle friction. You spin the wood on a piece of rock and try to get the fire started or whatever. That's the best wood to start that fire. And again, elderberry wand. The ladies wrote that book, Harry Potter's wand, is made of elderberry wood because of that it's in that fire stick. That's what the magic wand represents. So that's what the magic WON, you won, the magic that you won, that you win through, represents for you as well. Not just wand, but also that you won in life. So, and as it shows with the compost tea, it's aerating, not just in aerating from the solidifying of the lava rock, the lava flow, that fire, that electrical storms, the thunder and lightning that comes during a volcanic eruption as well, creates its own weather pattern at that time. And yet, the bubbling that you use when aerating it from just the oxygen of those tanks that you use in fish tanks, that bubbling, that accentuates the living arrangement in water itself. Water has memory in those shapes and those designs that come through that. That memory is in that the movement, the growth of a child in the womb, the movement, the UV light, umbilical vocal cord, that's movement. And the very same thing with compost. It's very simple. You can take the vegetables that you've eaten, the vegetables, the seaweeds, the earthworm castings, which earthworms eat the soil and poop it out, and the circular things that it shits out, the little circles that you find where earthworms grow. It's called earthworm casting as well. And you can add that to your compost, and you get the return value. The air, the oxygen, the CHO chain of life, that iron in the blood, oxygen to the brain, gives that circular motion and cleanses the water. The spin, pineal gland, cerebral cortex, that our brains are anyway, that builds tissue, the electrical currents in our bodies. You see how that flows right back into that with the volcanic eruption and creating a lightning storm, create its own weather pattern during that, and the aerating of that. And that shows again, even with the vibratory rate of that bass sound that they show with the two Pyrex jars, and the water leaked out the jar to the edges. It made a bridge. Even when it started to separate, it made a bridge to on both jars. It did not separate. So that is what the microbial example of the lava that is in pillow lava. We showed the pillow lava, how those deep sea divers went under where the lava was flowing under the ocean, and they tried to separate the lava under the ground with those hooks, but it's very difficult to separate that lava in those conditions that you would think it'd be much easier, but they were really having a difficult time grabbing that and separating and pulling that off there because it is a connective tissue. Yeah, that's that issue. Even in our brain function, in this circulatory system, once the iron is there, it's attracting the other minerals in the body to circulate, to move, and you circulate and you move at a very high speed. Black body radiation is there that dissipates all things by 50%, and also the everlasting life that we are. And our mothers does that, gives us that, and we move through that. And you can drop a bomb on any block, and because of the everlasting life, they got some stuff they can spray to neutralize that and for life to go on as it is supposed to. So all these things are related in a plant-based diet, and there are no weaknesses in this mineral makeup of the body or the elements of the universe. There are no weaknesses, only strengths, building principles that this is. So compost tea is a very simple thing. Like they even use seaweed in that. Um, all these things that can be used. So that's the technique in what people call farming, and it's gardening, and man placed in the garden to protect it, to make sure that it goes. So that's our responsibility. That's our thing that we can use. And so, yeah, I really wanted to just come on and speak about the compost tea that you can start making, and your vegetables will be huge, gigantic sized vegetables when you make the compost tea. And you can look at the examples that I've shared there on my Facebook page, where the compost tea it's Invisible Injury Olivers. That's the name of the Facebook page, where you all are not familiar with me there, but it's Invisible Injury. It's all one word. You can check it out and you can see it, and there's no stipulations. You can just go on there and comment or whatever. There's no problems with that. So I'm excited about keeping that abreast and being able to use that because that's what it's all about. That's what the waters are in life. And that's what we are about in life, and that's what it's supposed to be. And the breaking down of things make things much stronger, just like the decaying radioactive matter trapped with the natural gases, mixed in with the natural gases, does what eventually goes out into space. Does what with super duper amount of pressure, and what happens? The universe has given us. People under the age of 16 don't get the bends from high altitude, so you're able to go to a higher level space, man. Yes, you can. And all these things are happening for us. So just like the game of golf, the greatest of life finders, we have to find these avenues and use these things and to create the life that we have. So there's no reason to have a dust bowl, to be ignorant of the growth process, because communication is such a super spectacular thing. So we have to use, that's what this is, communication, and that's why I'm trying to make this more prevalent.